Hello and welcome to week 4 here in the psychology of adulthood. And we're going to be taking on chapter 4. Actually, one of my favorite theories, and that is Jeff Arnett's emerging adulthood concept, which really, for the first time, is adding a component to Erickson's sequence of stages in the life, where he introduces a new one of those dichotomies. We have trust versus mistrust, and intimacy versus isolation, and he introduces incarnation versus impudence, and it embodies this notion of a new stage reflecting a somewhat prolonged transition, I should say, from young adulthood. It's really hard to say. it's it's a it's in there as a protracted process of gradually taking on the responsibilities of adulthood. That's the best way to say it. So people who literally have, for a longer period of time than in history, a longer period of time of people with one foot not in adulthood and the other foot in adulthood, and gradually making that transition. And the dichotomy, this emergence, this idea of an incarnation of a birthing, let's say, of the adult, is the positive end. And then impudence, which is really kind of a denial of the reality of social expectations for adulthood. And this may ring very true for some of you, people that you know, or maybe you went through that for a period of time, is simply individuals who, for a period of time, seem to consider that the rules of adulthood don't apply. They might avoid employment, they're borrowing money, they're not really failure to launch sort of things, really gets captured well in this particular theory. I think that's what made it so popular. It's actually not a new theory. It actually emerged first in the work that Arnett published in 1999, original work on that, and talk about that in just a moment. Um, but as we know, for things to become canon, for them to become part of what we always teach in the undergraduate level, it took a while for that to really kind of come around and become well established and well researched enough that it starts becoming part of these levels of classes and introducing them as really fundamental aspects of our understanding of the human experience. So, with this, we have a discussion and an assignment. I'm actually asking you to reflect upon your own experiences, your own or others. Maybe you know some of those impudence people. Maybe you've had a period of that. Maybe this was a period of time that really had less meaning to you, and you really went from adolescence straight into intimacy. You had that. You kind of went through that transition pretty quickly. Looking at this from the lens of Erickson, the assignment, however, is a research review, an article review type assignment. And so, what I'm asking you to do is to find a single article that includes and utilizes the theory of emerging adulthood. And I want to be clear about this because I'm not it. This assignment gets prone to a mistake, and that is a mistake that I'm asking you to find an article about emerging adulthood. I am not a definition article, not, this is what it is. That's not what I'm looking at. Is that is there research out there? And there is. Finding an article that is 3 years old or less that is utilizing this theory as a model for understanding human behavior. So let's just say, as I believe we will start to see, is individuals that were entering into adulthood, graduating from high school, maybe their senior year, maybe their first couple years of college, and experienced the pandemic would be individuals who, because of external reasons, external factors, may have entered into an extended period of transition into adulthood. That was when we think about the developmental perspective of the timing of something like that, we can go out throughout the lifespan and say, what was the effect of the pandemic on you? And it can be fully understood when we look at it in the context of these kinds of expected transitions. So imagine maybe some of you were the individual, you're in high school, you're getting ready to launch into adulthood, and suddenly a bunch of doors closed, literally and figuratively, because of the pandemic. You may have stayed at home longer than you thought, you may have not engaged, you may have even disengaged. Kind of the impudence part, like, wow, this really threw a wrench into my plans. And so that could be in the reflection discussion. In the assignment, I'm asking you to find research related to that. Or is there research about the pandemic and its impact on emerging adulthood? So you're not looking to define emerging adulthood, you're looking to see how this theory has begun to make its rounds as a tool being utilized in research to understand human behavior. So just those two, just to have the discussion, kind of overrepresented that here. And then we have the assignment, finding one article. It's an article review. That means you cite it, you provide a description as to what the study was about, what its research questions were, a little bit about its methodology, what did they come up with, and then a reflection on the importance of this kind of study, in this case, related to an understanding of emerging adulthood. So using the article to enrich your understanding of the theory by seeing it in action, we might say, in action in recent research. So an article no less than 3 years. Please reach out to me if that's becoming difficult. But before you reach out to me, reach out to your trusty librarian, who will be very able and willing to help you find recent articles in these. In our online databases, or if you're using Google Scholar, you're looking for a peer-reviewed research article using this concept, you can search and limit your search by date. So you can actually tell it, don't give me results that are over 3 years old, and that really helps in this process of finding what I'm wanting you to find. If you find a whiz-bang article that's 3.5 years old or 4 years old, just send me an email and say, is this okay? Here's the title of the article. 99 times out of 100 it'll be okay, but just make sure you touch base with me, because I'm going to be looking just for that expectation. Make sure that everybody's staying in line with recent research that's being done. And I believe there's a bunch of stuff right now coming out. I know, not a belief, I've seen it. A bunch of research coming out about the effects of the pandemic, the effects of the return from the pandemic, because we've actually been returned for long enough to start to see that, and certainly the ongoing research that's been going on about emerging adulthood all along. So that's our week. Look forward to more of these discussions. This video is coming in a little late this week, so I've already seen some people in the discussions and whatnot. Keep up that great work, and I will see you online. Take care.